Everyone knows about the Cold War going on between America and Russia. Both countries always maintain their status and every preparation going on. Here we are today to discuss all these things. Hello friends, welcome back to Future Warplanes. Today we are back here again with an interesting video. Russia has built an aircraft that has been assigned to defeat America. How is it building this bomber? Was it necessary? How is it going to deal with it? A lot of questions are going on in your mind. Here we are going to answer a few of them. So stick with the video and watch it till the end to know everything about it. Before that, let us know in the comment box what you all think about a Cold War. A drop of everything that comes up in your mind. Also, subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and click the bell icon to get the notification of our latest videos. In the annals of military aviation history, the Cold War is often recognized as one of the most thrilling and intriguing moments to have taken place. Both the West and the Soviet Union were always trying to find out who was doing what and trying to obtain an edge over the other whenever the other side released a new kind of aircraft. This occurred anytime one side presented a new type of aircraft. It would seem to reason that not every new invention would be a successful one. Along the way, there were a lot of setbacks, and the region that used to be a part of the Soviet Union was home to a substantial number of them. We used aircraft such as the Tu-144 Konkorsky, which was a subpar imitation of the Concorde and was given its name in homage to the famous airliner. In addition, there was the Yak-38, an aircraft capable of vertical takeoff and landing that was intended to compete with the Harrier but did not accomplish anything even remotely close to the same degree of success. After that came the Myasishchev M50 Bounder, which is generally regarded as being one of the oddest as well as one of the aircraft that the Soviet Union has ever created, and which is also one of the most intriguing. When visitors from the West first saw what the Myasishchev Enterprise had built, they were totally swept away by it, and they naturally wanted to understand each and every aspect of it. Nevertheless, such details did not emerge as a result of the research at any point. The M50 ended up being another enormous financial loss for Russia, and it was also the project that served as the impetus for a hoax nuclear-powered aircraft. The Bounder was going to be the Soviet Union's first supersonic bomber when it was completed. The Boeing B-52 and the unnamed next-generation strategic bomber that the U.S. was working on both fell short of the requirements that the Soviet Union demanded of its bombers. The Soviet Union sought an aircraft that could travel at a higher speed and carry more weight than the B-52. That, of course, resulted in the XB-70 Valkyrie being a failure. Therefore, the Myasishchev company was given the responsibility of developing a new aircraft. This new aircraft was to be propelled by 4 Dobrynin VD-7 non-afterburning turbojets and 4 VD-7F afterburning jets, and it was to have a larger delta wing, a slender fuselage, and a swept-back tail design. Unusually, the engines were placed in pods inboard as well as on the tips of the wings. Because of this, the design ended up being rather unconventional, and perhaps one of the most remarkable things to happen throughout the whole time of the Cold War. The aircraft had its first voyage in October 1959, but a year earlier in December 1958, it was the focus of a hoax that was perpetrated about the aircraft. An article titled "Soviets Flight Testing Nuclear Bomber" was published in one issue of the magazine Aviation Week. The article asserted that the Soviet Union had in fact made significant progress in the development of a nuclear bomber, that it was capable of flying for days on end, and that it included a sketch of what was in fact the M50. The truth of the matter was, however, that this was nothing more than an elaborate ruse, and when the M50 was first seen, it was obvious that it wasn't a nuclear bomber aircraft. This has been a very brief introduction. We really hope that you are enjoying the movie that you are now watching. If such is the case, kindly let us know in the box given here. We ask that you subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so previously. The evidence obtained by Western intelligence led them to the conclusion that the aircraft would have faced a large amount of drag when flying at transonic and subsonic speeds. This was arrived at after they came to the realization that the information they had acquired. As a direct consequence of this fact, the NATO reporting phrase for this particular individual became bounder, which means a person who is attempting to promote themselves as someone above their position. Despite this, Western countries did not have a solid grasp on what the aircraft was capable of doing in its many configurations. There was not the tiniest speck of doubt in anyone's mind that the M50 was more than capable of reaching supersonic flight at any point in time. However, the fact of the matter was that things were not doing well inside the project, and this flyover during Soviet Aviation Day was the first and only occasion that Westerners saw the aircraft in operation. The reality of the issue was that things were not going well within the project. This was just a very quick introduction. We hope you are having a good time watching the video. If the answer is yes, then please share your thoughts with us in the comment box right now. Additionally, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel. To begin with, the engines of the M50 did not have the required level of power to do the duties they were assigned. With the exception of the fact that 2 of them were outfitted with afterburners, they were practically the same engines that had been used in the aircraft that this one was based on, which was the Myasishchev M4. In the beginning, it was proposed that the aircraft would be powered by Zubet's 1617 turbofans. These are the same kinds of engines that were proposed for use in a different kind of development called the M52. However, in spite of the fact that there was a problem with the engines, there was an issue that was far more serious. The Soviet Union did all in its power to get the M50 to attain supersonic speeds, but it was to no avail. It wasn't even able to break the Mach 1 barrier, much less the Mach 2 goal that they had set for themselves to accomplish. In the end, the M50 project was cancelled after just 11 test flights had been completed. Before being put out of service for good, the aircraft would complete a grand total of only 19 flights. It completed its last flight on July 9, 1961, when it took part in a flyover at the Tushino Air Show that was being hosted at the time. This was the aircraft's final flight. In spite of the fact that it was completed, the M52 ended up being discarded along with the rest of the Soviet Union's supersonic bomber program when the Soviet Union chose to give up on the project entirely. The M50 had also shown to be a genuine handful to fly, and it took a great level of knowledge from both of the aircraft's pilots in order for them to effectively traverse the airspace. Almost immediately after that, the Soviet Union changed its focus from conventional weapons to intercontinental ballistic missiles and focused on strengthening its fleet of Tupolev Tu-95 Bear turboprop bombers. The M50 had a remarkable design, but sadly, it was an even more spectacular failure than an aircraft. Despite its beautiful appearance, it was unable to fly. And what this meant was that Western countries could finally kick back and relax, safe in the knowledge that they had the upper hand in terms of the number of long-range bombers that they had at their disposal. Remarkably, the one and only M50 that Myasishchev ever built may be still shown in its whole today at the Monino Museum, which is situated just outside of Moscow. That concludes our look at the video. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you answered yes, please let us know in the comment box and give this post a like. Share it with your friends so that they could also get benefit from this video. In addition to that, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so that you may be notified when we upload new videos. We appreciate you watching.